My toxic new boss demanded to know my exact location at all times, so I started spamming her inbox with calendar invites and copied human resources. Welcome back to the Jerk Verdict. Today on r/maliciouscompliance, a micromanager pushes an employee too far and instantly regrets it. Let us get the full story. This incredibly satisfying story comes from r/maliciouscompliance, posted by u/away mountain 334. Before we get into it, drop your verdict in the comments. Who is the real jerk here? Pause the video, comment right now, and let us see if you agree with Reddit. My company recently restructured, so I suddenly have a brand new direct manager. And almost immediately, she decided that she wants to know where I am at all times. I am stationed in a standard open cubicle, and she is comfortably sitting in a private office. Oh boy, we already know exactly what kind of manager this is. The classic corporate micromanager who thinks sitting in a cubicle means you are somehow tethered to your desk like a dog on a leash. And of course, she gets the absolute luxury of a private office where nobody can see what she's actually doing all day. She can browse the internet, take personal calls, and do whatever she wants behind a closed door, while simultaneously demanding to track your every single movement like you are a prisoner. We have these focus rooms downstairs that are supposed to be used for taking calls, or when we simply need a private and quiet space to actually get our work done without distractions. This is exactly why open office plans and cubicles are a complete nightmare. It gives terrible managers the ability to physically monitor their employees like prison guards. You are supposed to be working, not acting as a physical desk ornament for her amusement. I frequent these focus rooms quite a lot because my job requires deep concentration, but it always seems like she suddenly needs me the exact second I leave my desk to go down there. Are you kidding me? This is absolutely not a coincidence. This is a textbook power trip. She is absolutely watching her cubicle like a hawk, literally waiting for you to stand up and walk away, just so she can immediately pretend she had an urgent question. It is a sick psychological game to make you feel like you are always doing something wrong just by trying to find a quiet place to work. It is designed to keep you completely off balance and afraid to ever leave your desk. At our check-in meeting this week, she aggressively brought it up. She said that she was looking for me, demanded to know what happened, and literally asked if I had left work early for the day. Hold on a second, she actually accused you of leaving early just because you were in a focus room inside the building? The absolute audacity of this woman. Instead of assuming you were working in the designated work areas like a normal professional, her brain immediately jumps to time theft. This is such toxic leadership. She is literally trying to build a fake paper trail of you being absent from your desk to use against you in a future performance review. I calmly said to her, "You could always just message me if you are looking for me." Well, she did not like that logical answer at all, so now I am maliciously complying. I am inviting her to a calendar appointment every single time I leave my desk for a focus room. Yeah, right, like a micromanager ever wants an actual logical solution. They just want to complain and assert dominance over you. But this response is absolute perfection. You want to know where I am at all times? Fine. I will aggressively notify you of my exact coordinates every single hour of the day until you are drowning in calendar notifications. Enjoy your cluttered inbox, boss. Let us see how much you love knowing my location when your phone is buzzing every 10 minutes. It totally feels like a massive lack of trust, and it is just so incredibly toxic of her. I'm really hoping I will not be working under her for much longer. That is genuinely sad. Nobody deserves to work under this kind of suffocating scrutiny. It completely destroys your morale and makes you dread waking up in the morning. When your own manager actively assumes the worst about you, the working relationship is already completely broken. You cannot thrive in an environment where you are treated like a suspect instead of a professional. But wait until you hear how she reacted to the calendar spam. Here is the fallout. She emailed me after work hours, about an hour ago, and angrily said that I did not need to spam her email with calendar invites. Wait, she emailed you after work hours to complain about you doing exactly what she asked you to do during work hours? The absolute nerve of this lady. She created this entire ridiculous situation, demanded to know your location, and now she is furious that there are actual consequences to her absurd demands. But the original poster was not finished yet. They decided to drop an absolute nuclear bomb on her. I replied to her after hours email immediately. But I did not just reply to her. I copied not only our big boss, but also human resources, asking for a time for everyone to meet to discuss her tracking requirements. What a surprise! She thought she could secretly scold you in a private email off the clock without anyone else seeing it, and you instantly dragged the entire executive team and the human resources department into the chat. Bringing the big boss into this petty email chain is the most beautiful corporate checkmate I have ever seen. You just put a massive, unignorable spotlight on her incompetent management style, and now she has to explain to the executives why she is tracking adults like toddlers. The Reddit community absolutely loved this nuclear escalation. The comments were completely filled with tactical advice for destroying this micromanager. One user perfectly summed it up, saying, "It is a complete lack of trust and pure micromanaging. Make sure she is copied on every single meeting. Then go down the route of polite, malicious compliance. Go into lunch? Send her a message. Go into the focus room, send her a message. Go into the bathroom, send her a highly detailed message describing exactly what you're doing in there. If she wants to know your location, give her an uncomfortably granular level of detail until she begs you to stop." Another user chimed in with even more aggressive advice, saying, "Make sure you are reporting to her any time you leave your desk for any reason, and include what the reason is. Make sure you are copying human resources on all of these emails. When asked, explain that you felt this was necessary due to the harassment." And how is this even legal? Someone tell me in the comments. To demand a professional worker report their location like they are on parole. That user perfectly noted that using the phrase hostile work environment is the magic corporate keyword that forces human resources to take immediate action against a rogue boss. Another top comment focused on the fact that the boss emailed the original poster after hours. They bluntly stated, "Wrong. When you clock out, it is your private time. You provide answers to emails when you clock in. Do not forget to claim overtime. Pay for answering those off-duty emails. And I am the Queen of England if this company actually pays overtime voluntarily." But that commenter is entirely correct. If you are going to bother me when I am at home eating dinner, you are absolutely going to pay me time and a half for the privilege. So what did Reddit decide? The community voted not the asshole with a staggering 98% consensus. The overwhelming majority agreed that this manager brought this entirely upon herself by making unreasonable demands and refusing to use basic communication tools like instant messaging. They praised the original poster for instantly escalating the situation to the big boss and putting an end to the secret harassment. Reddit voted not the asshole with 98%. Do you agree with this near unanimous verdict? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Wow, how noble of the community to figure out that stalking your employees is bad management. There was not a single person in that thread defending this terrible boss, and for very good reason. Legally speaking, this story touches on some very important labor laws, specifically regarding off-the-clock work and the boundaries of micromanagement. First, let us talk about the Fair Labor Standards Act, or the FLSA. If the original poster is an hourly, non-exempt employee, the fact that the manager emailed them after work hours and the employee replied immediately means that the employee was technically working off the clock. Under federal labor law, any time spent responding to work emails, texts, or calls outside of regular working hours must be compensated. This means this foolish manager is actually costing the company real money. By harassing her employee after hours, she is creating undocumented overtime liabilities. If Human Resources finds out that she is forcing non-exempt staff to engage in off-the-clock communication, they are going to absolutely lose their minds. Wage theft lawsuits are incredibly expensive, and Human Resources will always step in to protect the company from a rogue manager who is recklessly creating massive legal risks over a petty power trip. The second major legal angle here is the concept of a hostile work environment and constructive discharge. While being a terrible, annoying micromanager is not inherently illegal, it can absolutely cross the line into illegal harassment. This happens if the manager is singling out the specific employee based on a protected characteristic, or if the constant surveillance becomes so severe, pervasive, and suffocating that a reasonable person would find the workplace entirely intimidating or abusive. Oh, absolutely. The moment Human Resources gets an email where an employee explicitly mentions harassment and unreasonable tracking, massive warning sirens start blaring in their office. The company now has a strict legal obligation to investigate this manager. And if the original poster decides to quit because the micromanagement becomes completely intolerable, they could potentially file for unemployment under the doctrine of constructive discharge. They would easily argue that they were essentially forced out by the incredibly toxic and unmanageable conditions created by this boss. Alright, it is time for the final verdict. We give the micromanager a full 5 out of 5 jerks. She tried to treat a professional adult like a helpless child, refused to use basic communication tools, and then got incredibly upset when her own ridiculous tracking demands were aggressively thrown right back in her face. The original poster, on the other hand, gets 0 jerks. Looping in the big boss and Human Resources on that after-hours email was an absolute masterclass in corporate self-defense. Who is the real jerk here? Drop your verdict in the comments and let us argue about it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another breakdown. I will see you in the next one.